There was one big twice the size of the others. That thing could really scream. I never heard anything like it. And yes, I'm allowed to say that because it is directly quoting from a video game. So, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the Praetorian. The Praetorian stands at about 10 feet tall, making it much larger than a drone. The Praetorian can also summon other aliens and has a distinct head crest similar to that of the Queen's. The Praetorian, also known as the Royal Guard, was one of the final stages in the life cycle of the species xenomorph, and arguably the most common and widely acknowledged form of xenomorph to emerge from the numerous expanded universe casts. Unlike other xenomorph types, Praetorians rarely operate outside of their hive grounds. Visually, Praetorians resembled a queen, though they were smaller in size but still far larger than typical xenomorphs, typically standing at least 10 feet tall. During the third mission of Alien Fireteam Elite, Sergeant, I don't know how to say her name, but the person who talks to you on the monitors, yells out, "Size of a truck," when referring to the size of the transmission through the motion detector. Which, again, I'm allowed to say because I'm directly quoting a video game. The Praetorian would often ram their targets in a charging attack with the queen-like crest that they have. Unlike queens, however, Praetorians did not possess a second pair of arms on their chest, and their jaws filled with metallic teeth were comparable to lower xenomorph castes. Like queens, Praetorian guards typically possessed longer dorsal spines that ended up in a sharp point when compared to other xenomorphs that possessed these appendages. Praetorians were dark in color, typically black but sometimes black-blue, stood over 10 feet, towering over their fellow xenomorphs on the battlefield. Despite this size, they were almost as fast and agile as their smaller xenomorph siblings, although Praetorians seemed to remain in a permanent bipedal position, and owing to their bulk, they were unable to scale walls or ceilings. As was benefiting their size, Praetorians were incredibly strong, and their thick skin, known to be bulletproof in some cases, enabled to shrug off damage that would be terminal several times over to the most other xenomorph castes. They were capable of defeating entire squads of human marines single-handedly, and were even a match for Yautja in close-quarter combat. Praetorians could spit acid in larger quantities than other xenomorphs, and could use their claws and long blade-tipped tails as slashing and stabbing weapons, making them deadly at any range. Praetorians were smarter and more cunning than typical xenomorphs. However, owing to their size and strength, Praetorians simply had no need for stealth and tactical movement. In most cases, it would attack targets directly. Sorry, I stuttered there. Owing to their role in protecting the Queen herself, they would ferociously combat any threats without concern for their own safety or survival, making them dangerous opponents. It was said that killing a Praetorian would temporarily disorient drones that it coordinated. When a hive grows over 300 individuals, the Queen chose drones from her brood to become Praetorians. The chosen ones are fed by workers with royal jelly until the transformation can take place. During the transformation, chosen drones would begin to produce a pheromone that would cause the rest of the hive to turn against and attack it. This process would result in the deaths of most such individuals, but for those that survived and escaped the ordeal, would serve to strengthen the individual. Once the change was complete, the pheromone would cease to be produced, and the new Praetorian would return to their hive and take their place beside their queen. Some sources state that there is an intermediary state between chosen drones and full praetorians, known as royal guards, a name which is also used to describe fully grown praetorians. The royal guards are very similar to praetorians, but are smaller and weaker, have less developed crests, and show more drone-like features in the shape of the carapace, tail, and overall mesoskeleton. For this reason, it is possible that Royal Guard merely represents a stage of molting for juvenile Praetorians, as their bodies change from a drone to a fully grown Praetorian, and is not a separate caste or evolutionary stage. It was debated whether a Praetorian will adopt genetic traits from its host, as with most other xenomorphs castes. But this unlikely is the case, as only drones can evolve into Praetorians. The Crusher is considered to be the Praetorian form of a runner xenomorph, and the product of a royal jelly force-fed xenomorph sentry, the middle stage between a runner and a crusher. Similar to how Praetorians are said to evolve from drones, if a hive loses its queen, a Praetorian would molt into a new one, so the hive can be preserved and not claimed by another hive. However, if the transformation doesn't occur, then the hive is taken over by the former queen's eggs. The Praetorians are eliminated. One of such examples are in a video game called Aliens vs. Predators, and it is a game from 2004. I have covered this game on my channel before. Under certain circumstances, Praetorians could molt and evolve into Palpatines, queen-sized xenomorphs, and protectors of the Queen Mother. This was the Praetorian. Thanks for watching.